Hey, it's Warrior Grapevine, and welcome back to another episode of A Warrior's Life. This will be the final episode of Bramblestar's life. Last time we left off on, his mate, Quiet Pelt, had suddenly passed away after an injury from the medicine cat den. And our first speed paint, looking into what life is like for him, is just some time passing. Because the thing with loss is that it never quite goes away, but sometimes it gets a little bit easier, and life's just going on anyway. I know for the last section of his life, he still thinks about Quiet Pelt every once in a while. Some days the loss is easier to deal with, other days it's like you've just lost that person all over again. That's just how loss and grief works. So I basically drew him singing in front of his leader's den, and of course first the loss just as there as it was yesterday, and it gets easier. And I'm explaining this because as that loss gets easier, sometimes you meet new people. And that includes a new cat named Gleaming Ivy. I think at first maybe he thinks she's pretty, and they get along pretty well. So they're constantly hanging out together for a little while. And of course, other things are going along on the background, like Brindle's song playing pranks on us. And we look after kits for the queens every once in a while. Warriors make huge catches. And as they get closer together, they decide it won't be easy, but for a little while, they could be mates. And I'm sure for Gleaming Ivy, she knows what's happened to him in the past. She knows all about Quiet Pelt. Sometimes he shares stories about Quiet Pelt with her. And I think at least somewhere she knows that if Quiet Pelt was still alive, they probably wouldn't be mates together. But they could have been still good friends. And I think if Quiet Pelt was still alive, she'd want to be maybe a surrogate for them. Because it isn't long after that they have their first two kits. Doe Kit and Fawn Kit. Sorry, my cats are going nuts right now. They're being very playful and playing together. So if that's what you hear in the background, that's what's going on. And I did end up coming up with designs for the three of these cats using the same generator. And I'll probably leave that in the description down below for you to use. But also I wanted to make sure that Doe Kit and Fawn Kit both had like traits from both parents a little bit. I don't know how successful I was with drawing a recent queen, but hopefully it looks okay. So for a long while they're raising Doe Kit and Fawn Kit as they grow up. And we're still doing our regular duties of going to like gatherings and things like that. Hunting for our family, giving the prey to them and to the rest of the clan. And of course at gatherings, Bramblestar can't help but mention the nursery and his kits, because he's very proud of them. But unfortunately, a moon later, we find out that Primrose Spots has died, which is our father. Time's still passing in the background, and I think that Primrose Spots had Bramble and hair on when he was a younger warrior, but now Bramble is becoming a senior warrior. He's getting quite old, and I think he passed from natural causes. Which is why I took the time to draw him just laying in a field of messy flowers. I don't think he died doing anything. He must have been an elder in the Elder's Den for a while. But again, you know, with loss, it doesn't get any easier, so he's probably thinking about his father for a little while. And I think that's why it scares him so much 2 moons later, when for a little while Gleaming Ivy has to stay in the medicine den. And I think he probably thinks a lot about how Quiet Pelt died, so he spends a lot of time with her in the nursery. The medicine den. And for this drawing in particular, I wanted to take some time to draw him older. Because like I said, he's a senior warrior now. So he's got a little bit of grays going on. He's got a bushy old mustache going on. And Gleaming Ivy's probably a little bit embarrassed having her mate come see her, but happy. And she's happy he's probably getting some rest finally. But we're still taking care of our kits. And they finally become apprentices 2 moons later. So I decided to draw these two running along on their way to different patrols and things. And he doesn't really have to watch over them like a hawk anymore. But I imagine he still takes the time to look after them, even though they're apprentices with their own mentors now. In particular, Fawnpaw is very good at hunting. She comes back with a giant juicy bowl. And Doughpaw is good at fighting because they won against their mentor. And they both don't like cleaning the Elder's Den, and he can't help smiling. So he remembers what that was like. And he decides to take an apprentice of his own, Dustpaw. They are a non-binary cat. So, 4th cat, same generator design-wise. Maybe they're a little bit related to Gleaming Ivy, just because of the way they look. And I enjoy the little flowers I got to draw with them. And, I don't think it's easier for him to train this apprentice, because he's getting along in years. He's been leader for a long time. I imagine he's struggling quite a bit to keep up with them, and he's struggling a little bit to get to gatherings and things like that are far away. But if there's any border skirmishes and things, he's fighting for his life and for his clanmates just the same as he used to. Because now he has 2 young kids to think about. Which is why, unfortunately, at 66 moons old, and our children are just 12 moons old, not even warriors yet, that at a small border skirmish, not that far from that, we got arthritis from running from a dog, and unfortunately, Bramblestar died and went to StarClan. So for our last drawing of Bramblestar, it's him looking on at his body while he's ascending on to StarClan. I definitely think he'll wait up for Gleaming Ivy, and that in StarClan with Quiet Pelt, they could be good friends and live in the afterlife together, basically. And of course, Primrose Spots will be there, and our mother Splash Petal. And eventually our kits will be there too. But in particular, I think Doe Kit or Fawn Kit with that one generator I used. One of them has a future of being deputy. So the legacy continues even without Bramblestar being there anymore. Now, next time we come back to a warrior's life, I'm thinking of using this other creator's generator just to try it. And next time we won't be going for a leader's role, but we'll get into that with the next generator. And I'm no longer sick, thankfully, and life update wise, I'm getting a day job soon, because I finally got my driver's license. So we'll just have to see how things change scheduling wise, honestly. Because it could be a while before I get hired. And yes, I'm 26, so. It'll be a new fun life experience. We'll see how things turn out. I'll let y'all know. Most drastic I could see things changing is that we just have Friday videos from now on, honestly. But for all of November, I've scheduled Tuesday and Friday videos, so we'll be fine for November at least. Anyway, thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me ramble. And thank you so much if you watched every episode of this series. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.